Alright, hey guys. I'm making a video talking about what happens when you go no contact. So, if you're thinking about going no contact and you're kind of questioning what's gonna happen, honestly, just don't worry about it. That's kind of the overall consensus. You can't really control what happens afterwards, you can only control what you do with it. And the biggest thing that you should do is stay no contact. As soon as you start going back to them, as soon as you send that text message or you try explaining why you went no contact, you're just opening the door for more chaos. As soon as you give them like an inch, they're gonna take a mile. So just don't do it. I have a list here. So the first thing that's probably gonna happen is nothing. Absolutely nothing. You're not gonna hear anything from them. You're not gonna hear anything from anyone. You're gonna be expecting a big reaction, but chances are there's not gonna be a reaction. I've definitely heard of people who their families or whoever they went into contact with, they kind of blew up and they immediately go into like rage mode. I'm not sure which one hurts the most, when they kind of explode on you or when they just don't seem to care. If someone that you care about decides to never talk to you again, I'd be upset. My reaction would be to get upset at first. But then I think that I would also want to respect their boundaries. So I wouldn't reach out to them, but I would be pretty upset about it. I'd probably be confused. If you're normal like that and you have that thought, then you're gonna probably try to find an excuse for their silence. You're gonna say, "Oh, well, they're actually giving me the space that I asked for. That's good, right?" No, no, that's not good. Because even though you would do that to somebody else, the reason why they're doing it is because they think you're gonna give up eventually. They think it's gonna be a phase, that you're gonna, reach out to them and apologize and say everything that they want to hear so that you were the bad guy and they were the victim. They're waiting for you to do that. But you're not gonna do that, right? Don't do that. Okay? Don't reach out to them. If they reply with silence, be thankful, because that's just less chaos to have to deal with. The alternative is they threaten you and they try to go to your residence and they don't respect your boundaries and then you have to get police involved. So even though emotionally it hurts that they're choosing to be quiet for now, just let that roll off your back, because it could be a lot worse. Their reaction could be a lot worse than that. Alternatively, they could go in a rage. And like I said, this could mean that they drive to your house, your apartment, wherever. They go to your job. They call your phone number. They call your job's phone number. They comment on your social media posts. But that's kind of just them intruding on your boundaries. Again, you ask this person to give you privacy, and when they go into a rage, that's the complete opposite. So they're not respecting your boundaries at all, and they're actually trying to implement themselves back into your life. But this time they want to let you know that you messed up, that because you went no contact with them, that was a mistake, and they want to make sure that you know that's a mistake and that you'll never do it again. But it's not a mistake. If you're thinking about going no contact with somebody, chances are you've thought pretty hard and pretty long about that. No normal person is sitting around their house thinking, what if I never talk to my family again? like no, that doesn't happen. That's like it takes years of resentment, of pain, and abuse to get to the point of where you say you don't want this person anymore, even though you love them, or you had loved them at one point. You don't want them in your life anymore, not now, not in the future, not ever. It takes a lot to come to that conclusion, and it does hurt when you finally realize that that is the solution for you. You have to protect yourself from these people. They're not good. They're not going to change. I mean, chances are you were in this relationship with them and you've asked them countless times to change. You've told them how they made you feel and they dismiss it every time, or they mock you for it, whatever. You've already given them a chance. When you go no contact, there's no more chances. That's like the ultimate, this relationship stops. There's no going back to it. You've given them a chance. It shouldn't take you having to go no contact for them to realize that they messed up. It should never get to that point. But they let it get to that point, and that has nothing to do with you. Another thing that's going to happen is you're going to have flying monkeys. This is a term that you use when describing narcissists specifically. I do find that people tend to go no contact from narcissists more often than maybe other types of personality disorders. That probably has to do with the fact that if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, quite literally the only way to save yourself from it is to go no contact with them. But yeah, so flying monkeys, that refers to the people that that you haven't specifically went no contact with, but they are in contact with the person that you went no contact with, and they're trying to reach out to you to get your story, to understand why you would do something like that, and ultimately they're trying to get the relationship back together. They might send you voicemails asking you, come back to us, what happened, let's talk about this. They might send you letters, they might send you gifts in the mail. You might have family members that you've never really talked to before reach out because, it took something extreme as this for them to actually figure out that they want to be in your life. Flying monkeys might be sent by the person that you went no contact with. They might just be reaching out because they want you to not leave the relationship. They don't want you to leave the dynamic. In terms of narcissism, flying monkeys are just enablers. They just continue enabling the narcissistic dynamic that's happening. And when someone decides to leave that relationship, it's the flying monkey's job to get you back into it. The narcissist might get involved with like rage tactics or something like that, but it's usually the flying monkeys that are going to tell you, hey, you're doing the wrong thing, why don't you talk to us first? They might try to invite you over to places and not tell you that the person that you're going no contact with is actually also going to be there, so then they kind of trap you in this spot with this person. It's your choice if you want to cut out the flying monkeys. Also, it probably is easier just to go no contact with them. They are disrespecting the boundaries that you set up. They know that you told this person that you don't want contact with them, you don't want them to talk to you, communicate with you, nothing like that. And a flying monkey is no better than that person. If they're trying to get you back involved in the relationship, they're not respecting the boundaries that you had established. They're not listening to you. So what makes you think that they're going to listen to you when you decide to listen to what they're saying? Kind of ironically, when you go no contact with somebody, you're going to go through grief. It sounds ironic because technically you did make the decision to do this. And we don't normally see grief as something that you can cause to yourself. It's usually in terms of events that are out of your control that you go through grief. But you are going to grieve. You're going to grieve over the fact that this relationship that you had with somebody didn't go how you wanted it to go. You're going to grieve over what could have been, what you wanted to be. You might try to bargain with yourself, like maybe you'll try to talk to them or something before you go no contact. Maybe you'll tell yourself, oh, I'll just look at this one social media picture. That's it. Don't do that. You're going to look at one, it's going to make you sad. You're going to look at another, it's going to make you more sad. You're gonna keep looking. You're gonna keep looking for that answer that you know you don't want to know about, but you're still searching for it. Don't do that, okay? Just block them on all social medias. Just block them. Don't tempt fate. You know, what's that saying? It's like, don't ask questions that you already know the answer to. If this person knows that you're going no contact with them, their social media is gonna make you feel upset because they're gonna go out of their way to post things to make you think that they're doing great without you, that you're the one who's losing. They're not losing. They don't care, right? They do care. They're gonna post more pictures of activities that they're doing. They're gonna post pictures of new people that they're meeting in their lives. They're gonna make posts saying that today's the best day ever. They might say something about how they were the ones who dropped a toxic person out of their life, when actually you're the one who did it. They're gonna try to flip the story, okay? They don't actually care about what you're feeling. They care about what other people think that's going on. And if you're the one who's going no contact, well, that's a problem, because now everyone's gonna question, why did this person go no contact with this other person? What's wrong with the other person? So they're gonna try to flip the story so that they look like the victim, not you. You're gonna double guess everything. You're gonna question yourself. You're gonna question, why did I do this? Was this a mistake? Would it be easier if I just talked to them again, had that one meeting like they said, and see if we can work something out? Don't double guess yourself. Just don't do it. You got to this point because this person hurt you so bad that you had to even consider it. If it helps, write down every bad thing that this person has done to you. Write them down. Find a friend who you can trust. Just take a moment to read to them the things that this person has done and see how your friend reacts, right? It's easy to be in a abusive relationship and not realize how abusive it actually is, because normally abuse isn't just from 0 to 100. It's normally from 0 to 10, then to 30, then maybe it's back down to 20, and it's up to 70. You know, it's gonna go back and forth. It's gonna slowly introduce you to this unhealthy relationship. So it's easy to forget how unhealthy it was. So by writing down the things that this person has done to you and then reading it to someone who has more or less an objective point of view, they're gonna tell you that's batshit crazy what that person had done to you. Don't double guess yourself. It takes a lot to get someone to consider going no contact. People can put up with a lot of bullshit, and this person has given you more than more than a lifetime's worth, okay? Stick to it. It's gonna be easier as time goes on. As time does go on, you're gonna start having more self-reflections. You're gonna be able to see life in a different way. There's gonna be times where you look back at experiences and you start seeing things that you might have done wrong. Not as wrong as what the other person had did, but you're gonna see, you know, your flaws and how this person had affected you and what kind of habits you now have as a person. And you're gonna start having more self-reflections on that. It's gonna make you a better person. You're gonna start seeing yourself in a more objective viewpoint. You're not gonna feel like the victim anymore. You can feel like a victim for enough time to recognize that an action has to be done. But after that, it's pointless to feel like the victim. After you've taken that action, going no contact, don't feel like the victim anymore, because you're just gonna hold on to that and you're gonna live your life calling yourself this victim. And then guess what? You're gonna fall into the same pattern that person that you left, the same pattern that they lived their life in. And now you're gonna be with people and you're only gonna see yourself as the victim. You might start treating people differently because, you know, you have all this baggage, so people need to feel bad for you, right? You're gonna follow in the footsteps of this person that you left. You left them because you don't want to be like them. You left them because you don't want that type of person in your life, in your children's lives, in your family's lives. It's okay to feel like the victim until you've taken action, and once you've taken that action, stop. Move on. I remember reading something online where someone said, life's unfair because people can give you trauma, and ultimately it's your responsibility to deal with that trauma. You can't have trauma and then just project all of your damage onto other people. That's not a way to live life. I just want to say I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't have any medical expertise on this or anything. I just want to share my perspective, and if you're someone who's considering going no contact, do it. Make sure you're safe before you do it. Make sure you're in a position where you can get distance from this person. Don't go no contact with somebody if you live in a house with them. That's not the time to do that, okay? Make sure you're mostly independent from this person. You can do things beforehand where you start distancing yourself from them, whether that be like emotionally, mentally, physically, whatever, and still maintain this connection just for, the sake of you having a house to be in. But once you have more independence, just do it. The sooner the better. All right, and that's all I had to say. Strider, you want to say anything? Okay. A man of many words. Have a nice day. And deuces.